Hey guys, happy Thursday. Thursday, June 14th, Flag Day. Today's Flag Day. Also, World Cup is going on right now. You guys saw my post earlier. Welcome to the TED Show. Let us know you can hear us or see us because we're having, I saw there's a few connection issues, but look how good that looks, right?
Yeah, the lighting is amazing.
The lighting's perfect, so I don't need a whole lighting crew.
I was worried about my hair.
We had a hair and makeup person here for about 5 seconds. No, we didn't. So this is my friend, hey Terry, this is my friend Tyler Brassil. Did I do it right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Tyler. And Tyler has been such a big supporter of the show. And so, when people, hey, Jeremy, congratulations on your baby. Tell Gia I said hi. Oh, wait, no, I have two Jeremy Gomez friends, by the way. So if you're not the baby one, forgive me. So we're getting a lot of love here. Tyler.
Oh, Sarah.
See, Tony, what's up? See, that's why I like this, right? It's immediate gratification.
Yeah.
You get immediate people coming, hey, what's up? Hey, Rebecca. But Tyler's been such a big supporter of the show, and so, whenever you are a big supporter of the show and you pipe in a lot on the show, guess what? I'm going to ask you to be on the show. So Tyler's like, no way, I got nothing to talk about. Well, if you read his, Candy. Yeah, wrong Jeremy. The other Jeremy had a baby today, by the way. It's not Candy, Jeremy, by the way.
How's Jeremy feeling?
Apparently the other Jeremy's fine. This Jeremy's like, God bless it, when did I have a baby and didn't know about it? But Tyler's, again, been such a huge support, and I wanted him to come on the show, and he's got a great story. If you had a chance to read his bio, if you haven't, go to the post that I did earlier, take a look. You've had an amazing restaurateur's life, my friend. So welcome, and thank you for being brave enough to be on the TED Show. We joked earlier that this is part of his community service that he has to do. I'm not sure it's a voluntary thing right now. We're having fun. So welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Glad
All
to be
right.
here.
So give us a little background on you. And don't start with, I became a restaurateur and now I'm a chef. Start with...
Well, that's it.
You tried to pull that with the bio, and I'm like, you're not getting away with that. Not on this show. So give us a little background on you, because obviously at some point in your life, you decided this is what I want to do. So don't start there. Give me a little background on you. Smallest county, smallest city, smallest county.
Smallest town,
so
yeah.
I tried to look that up. I couldn't figure it out. So go.
Did you notice I didn't put the name in?
You did not.
I didn't. I did that on purpose. So, I grew up in the smallest town, in the smallest county, in the smallest state in the United States. A little town called Warren, Rhode Island. A population of about 800 when I was growing up. And I grew up on a farm, several farms actually. The entire street that I grew up on was all family. And my family, we had a turkey farm. And then my cousin across the street had a produce farm. We had a produce farm on my personal property for our home. And then there was cattle and livestock and whatnot. So
you grew up around the whole farming life, turkey farming.
Turkey farming. There's some scary stories
there.
But we're not
Do you eat turkey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So that's always the test. Like,
yeah.
Oh no, don't eat turkey, Ted. That must have been interesting. So did that prep you? Did you have to learn early on how to prep? Were you involved in any of the whole process there?
I started working when I was about 4, 5.
Wow.
Early as I can remember, on the farms, doing different things, different farms. And then I would cook with my grandmother. A lot of people say that, grandmother.
They actually do.
Cook,
More people talk about grandmas on the show, talking about cooking.
It's
and
true.
What was her specialty? What did she like to cook?
Well, my grandmother was Portuguese, and I'm half Portuguese, although I missed out on the color. My dad's Irish.
Oh, you got the Irish side.
Yeah.
But your name, how funny. I mean, come on, somebody must have said this before. Portuguese, but your name is spelled sort of like Brazil, right? Brassil.
And normally Brazil is what everybody goes with, but it is Brassil and it's Irish.
That is so interesting.
So anyway, but the funny story in my grandmother being an amazing cook is that my mother, and she'll probably kill me for saying it, but she knows it's true, my mom is an awful cook. And rightfully so, because she didn't have to cook.
Right.
Because
if
we're my
her
grandmothers.
Mom, right. So what's a Portuguese, did she cook Portuguese dishes?
Do I?
No, did she?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, growing up in Rhode Island, the Ocean State, lots of seafood. My grandmother would make something called alagentana, which is Portuguese clams and chitties.
Yum.
That's stewed together. It's delicious.
Yum.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Do you make that? Did you take any of the recipes from your grandmother and keep them? And
It's all in here.
you have to come up with a cookbook, my friend, unless I haven't done my research and you already have one of those. It's probably true. Your agent's gonna kill me. This is the premeditated. All these questions I was supposed to.
Where's
ask.
that book?
Where's that book?
Yeah.
And then, so was that? Do you think that was the moment where you're like, okay, I'm enjoying cooking? Because she obviously made it a positive experience.
She did.
So you enjoyed that, and
She did, and we had a family friend, and he used to say to me all the time growing up, he's like, Tyler, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And this man worked 80, 90, 100 hours a week, and I could never wrap my brain around that. I was always like, what are you talking about? You work insane, you know? And then it was years later that I realized actually what he did mean.
what did he mean? I'm trying to figure it out because I'm working 80, 90 hours a week. As you can tell, it takes a lot to put this show on.
It takes a lot to buy coral-colored vests,
Look at
jackets,
that,
rather.
right? Look at that. It's good. He even got the color right.
I was gonna wear a jacket, and then you said don't.
No, oh my God, I'm terrible. I probably did. Had I been drinking?
But when it came time to do college, do something with my life, I took that advice and I said, you know what, I really love this cooking thing, so let's give that a shot. And decided to go to culinary school.
Johnston and Wales, right?
Johnson and Wales, the original Providence. So back then it was not nearly as cool as it is now. In fact, when I told my mom I wanted to be a chef, she cried.
She cried.
She was like, I thought you'd be something successful.
Oh God. Oh Mom. Poor Mom. Boy, Mom's got hit twice today.
I know.
Oh God.
thing.
You're gonna have to edit that part out later.
Good thing she's not on Facebook.
But so you go there. When you go, because we've had a lot of people on the show that have graduated from, it's Johnston or Johnson and Wales?
Johnson.
Johnson and Wales.
Yeah.
So when you go, you probably have an idea in your mind of what you want to be, but then they open your mind up like any college.
Mm-hmm.
And did you finish with what you wanted to do originally?
Oh, that's funny. So Johnson & Wales obviously has an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree, and they were only school in the country that was offering a bachelor's in culinary arts at the time. And I wanted to continue on, go get my bachelor's in culinary, and the dean of the school told me that I didn't have what it took to be successful in the business in culinary. So
why?
I should. Yeah.
Was it because of your grades or your?
No.
He didn't see talent.
Didn't see talent.
How
I
is
guess.
that? So how does that happen? Like, you're obviously passionate about food and everything to do with food. How is it that somebody couldn't see that in you? Were you not applying yourself, my friend?
It takes a while to get to know me, so I guess I just didn't have that chutzpah. I don't know.
That's so interesting, and I'm always amazed that educators or anybody who tells somebody that they're not going to be good at something.
Yeah.
I mean, that would tick me off so bad I would have to prove them wrong.
Well, things come full circle. I decided that I would then go into hospitality restaurant management and went into the business program. Hey, Barbie, Josh. Man, we're getting people
See,
from
we got
Boston.
good people.
So I went into business instead and got my bachelor's degree there. And then did a bunch of restaurants and whatnot, and then opened a restaurant in Rhode Island. And on our opening night, the dean actually came for dinner.
Nice.
And,
Did he know it was you?
Had no idea.
Oh man, that's awesome.
He knew my business partners and whatnot, and he came in to see them, and he was like, "Oh my God, everything was amazing," and whatever, and they were like, "Oh, you should meet who cooked it," and it actually had been me. And so he came in the kitchen to thank me, although not knowing it was me, and yeah.
Did you have crow prepared for him? Because he needed to eat that. 100%.
Put that plate up.
I am amazed, and Roger, you're right, how assumptive it is, presumptive of, why would you ever squash somebody's dreams? I mean, I guess it's like there's some shows on about the most horrible cook, that would be me. But, they're going on the show with the knowledge that they're bad.
Yeah.
If you're at a school like Johnson and Wales, you believe in what you're doing and you have a passion for it. So why would you nip
spending
that?
a ton of money
And
to
spending
be there?
Yeah, you
right?
said that. All right, so then you graduated and you
Yeah.
opened Empire, Is that really where the first big to-do was? Because you've got a whole paragraph and a half or two on your bio.
Yeah. I did a bunch of restaurants while in college, and then after that, I kind of got tired of it and said I need to do something different. It changed my life, and then that's when Empire came along, and jumped on board to do that project. And we built a 12,000 square foot restaurant out of a 1912 Packard car showroom.
Wow. And was this in the city?
In Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, it was in
downtown.
Providence. Okay.
Yeah. It was a gorgeous restaurant. Beautiful, fine dining, right across the street from a theater. It was spectacular. But we ended up selling it. About 5 years into it, we sold it. The mayor of Providence had said that the city was going through this major renovation and revitalization and whatnot, and they did downtown first, but didn't come over to the arts section where we were. They kind of stopped. So
they didn't give you the support. That's what I think I read in your bio.
Yep.
Sarah says it was beautiful. It sounds like it was beautiful, Sarah. But that's what happens, I think, a lot. But what's great, you have the culinary degree and a business degree, right?
Yeah.
And so having both of those, that gives you a mindset to be, because a lot of times people have their passion, if you're an artist of any kind, which I think culinary is an art, and you have the passion for it, you don't necessarily have the business sense for it. So you had to get this whole, because you want to have your dream and you want to be creative, because you're a creative, but you have to have the business side, or at least somebody that you trust that has the business side of it.
Yeah, a lot of people think that being a chef is just cooking, or owning a restaurant is just opening at 5 o'clock and serving food. They don't realize that there's actually the business side of it that happens all day long.
People don't.
Yeah.
When I go into a restaurant, I can almost always tell if there is somebody there who has business sense. See, Vic Colazzo, empathize. I was told in college, I was not college material in high school. Yeah, that's right, right? So why do educators do that? Why do people? We should have a whole show on that. Because I think it has impacted and changed the trajectory of people's lives.
Absolutely.
And so you either get so ticked off that you're going to do it no matter what, or you get redirected to something that's not part of your dream or your DNA, and then you're miserable the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. But back to the, so I think when you walk into a restaurant, you can tell, I can tell, if there's actually somebody who's got a business sense, because if it's all creatives, I notice the fact that the linens don't look so good, or the restaurant stools are worn, or their glasses look like they were washed at Wally's. No offense against Wally's, but you know what I mean? It's got that crusty thing on it. And it's amazing to me, because I think a business person would pick up on that. A creative person, if you're just creative, you're focused on the food. You're focused on the culinary experience itself. So that must have been hard. Is it hard for you to wear both hats?
No.
See, you've got both brains. I only have half a brain, and it's only creative. So
I mean, it is definitely business first, because you notice things and see things differently. But the chef thing, once I put that jacket on, no pun intended.
Oh, you could have worn the jacket today.
No, that's bad form.
Oh, is it bad?
Yeah,
it's
you don't.
Bad form. I just got schooled.
You do not wear your chef coat outside of the restaurant.
Don't. What does your chef coat say?
I'm sorry
Chef
for
Tyler?
all of those that do.
Oh, you just ticked off everybody.
I know, it's terrible.
So does yours say Chef Brassil on it or Chef Tyler?
No, it actually says TB.
Okay.
Yes. A lot of us in the industry, we just go by our initials.
Oh my God, did you know that we have the same initials?
No kidding.
It just dawned on me. I told you I'm a creative. I'm slow, very slow. Wow.
Can't have everything.
You cannot have everything. All right, so you finally, you sold your interest in Empire.
Yeah.
And then what was your next move? Because you obviously had a move in mind.
Ended up here, right?
Oh yeah, how did you get to Florida?
Well, we sold the restaurant after some advice from some pretty important people. And then Darden called and said, hey, we just saw you on this TV show, and we'd be interested in having you.
Oh yeah, talk about the TV show. I skipped that, and I didn't mean to. Your talent manager is going to be so mad at me. See, this is why we don't do pre-interview.
Yeah.
You were on TV.
This show is going way more than a half an hour. We're going to have to do part two.
You know it's going to happen. I'm
Part
not paying
two,
attention.
for those of you who don't have anything.
At least you weren't born and we're at second grade at 25 minutes. I mean, we're making progress.
Nice. So, we came down here to Orlando to do Seasons 52, to open the very first seasons on Sand Lake Road. So, did that for a little bit of while.
And what was your role in that? Were you the business and the culinary side, or?
Oh, that's a story.
Oh, see,
that
we
could be
like a
part two.
story. Wow, we're all going to part
That could
two
be
right
part
now.
two. Write that down.
Right. So I need to turn to somebody to write it down, but there's nobody here.
So I love Seasons 52. Love the concept. Love everything they're doing. But to go from being an independent restaurateur all my life and in the restaurant independence, and then going into that big corporate structure,
Well, from the creative perspective, I can understand that because honestly, they're set up to be very cookie cutter, so that every restaurant is pretty much the same.
Right.
Even though they want you to have a feel that it's fine dining, and I like Seasons, so it's good by me.
I go
but
all
you
the
can
time.
definitely tell that it was a big corporate restaurant. You're not talking about a mom and pop thing that was created by you. There's some corporate guys up there that created kind of the concept and the methodology to everything.
Right. And again, done a fantastic job. I love it.
And so what'd you do after Seasons?
Well, I was actually sitting at the bar one night at Seasons having dinner, and this guy sitting next to me, he's like, you look really familiar. And I was like, you don't know me, I just moved here. And he's like, no, I'm serious. And lo and behold, he and I actually had gone to culinary school together in Providence. And I kid you not, we had one class together.
And he
One
remembered
class
you?
that was 9 days long.
Wow.
And
that's why I remembered.
And we had this one kid in our class, Kunal, who just was amazing and full of energy and life, and he was from India, just a great guy. And he's like, Kunal was in our class. And I'm, oh wow, yeah, sure enough. So he's like, I'm running this culinary school down the street, and I'd love for you to come check it out and tell me what you think. And so I went the next day, took a tour. At the end of it, he's like, could you see yourself working here? And I was like,
Is this in Orlando?
Yeah.
We have a culinary school in Orlando?
We did.
We did.
We did.
Okay. R.I.P.
It was Le Cordon Bleu, Orlando.
Oh, that's right. Of course, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So
So you came in, did you instruct? Did you consult?
I did. I was hired on as a chef instructor, and I did that for a bunch of years. And then they started a hospitality restaurant management program. And they came and asked me to take that over and to do the hospitality restaurant management. So I ended up writing curriculum for all of Le Cordon Bleu North.
So how does somebody, on the teaching side, had you had experience with teaching before? Hey Wyatt, hey John's trying to be funny. John Wild, that damn radio show. So had you had instruction or teaching experience?
None.
Okay.
Zero.
So when you go into that, are you like a Gordon Ramsay? Are you wanting to kill your people because they don't know what they're doing?
I was a little rough on the edges.
Were you? Oh, I'd like to see film of that.
Made a lot of people cry.
Oh, you made
Not
people
proud
cry?
of that, but yeah.
What did they
yeah.
do? They couldn't keep the sauce? Couldn't turn on the grill like me?
It would be dumb things. Like they're baking a cake and never turn the oven on. Like when you open the oven door and you put the cake in.
If you don't
and
feel
it
the heat,
wasn't
what's happening?
hot.
Even I know this.
Things like that.
Oh my God, I would like to have seen the outtakes from
Chef,
that.
it says steam the green beans. Where do I get the steam?
From the iron. I don't know what's happening. Oh my God. So that's pretty bad, especially if you're going to school for that, right? It's
Yeah.
not like you took a me and said steam. I might ask you where you get the steam from. There's no doubt in my mind. But people who are there, they have a passion or they think they have a
Right.
passion for it. Yeah, you
Right.
would hope that they would have the wherewithal to know how to steam green beans.
I mellowed out after
You mellowed out.
after a couple of years, but it was.
And then what did you do after? Because we have to talk. At some point you became a restaurateur again. Again.
Yeah.
And so what was that like, and what was the process? And tell them it's in your bio, but tell them what restaurant that is.
Well, a dear friend of mine, one of my mentors, unfortunately he's passed away, but he lived to the ripe old age of 97. So,
Wow, God bless him.
he was amazing. He was the one that sort of prodded me and said, "You need to get back into this. You're wasting your time. Not that teaching was wasting my time, but that I should be doing more." So it was an interesting thing. It was on Valentine's Day, no less, which was kind of weird. But he just stroked me a blank check and was like, "Let's do this."
God, what do I have to do to get somebody to stroke me a blank
Right.
check? That's another show.
So, I said, I don't know what we're going to do. And he's like, go home and make a list of 10 things that you hate about the restaurant business. and then let's figure out a way to open a restaurant and avoid as many of those things.
Oh, I love that idea. That's cool.
And so we did that, and that was how the table Orlando was originally built.
The table, that's right, because I'm not sure how many people remember the table,
Yeah.
but give them the concept of it, because it definitely, the concept is unique. I don't think we have anything like it in Orlando.
Not really. The table was one large table. It was 28 feet long by 5.5 feet wide, one single slab of granite, and it held 22 seats. And we did 5 courses paired with 5 wines, and everything was 100% local, organic, sustainable.
Nice.
And we tried to do absolutely as much as from Florida as we possibly could. So much so that we didn't even order food from our farmers and purveyors and whatnot. The farmers would literally just bring
Oh man,
what
that's
they
cool.
had, like what was in season. You know, we could have Ramos come in with 4 pounds of tomatoes and be like,
And you didn't know as a customer, consumer, when you went in, did you know the menu, or it was really kind of, you just booked, because you booked 6 months in advance?
Yeah, you went online, bought a ticket, so it was your seat for the entire night. Kathleen used to come to the table all the
And
time.
Raison too said best water in town.
Oh man, yeah. Kathleen actually has celiac disease. That's an interesting
Hi,
thing.
Kathleen.
So we would make the menu that day, literally. I would be
love that.
pairing the wine with dinner at like 6:30, and the doors opened at 7. So
Wow.
you could ask me in the morning, hey, what's on the menu tonight? And I honestly...
That must have been a great, for your creative side,
Yeah.
that's such a great challenge, but in a positive way, because you're really having to put stuff together at last minute, but you're using your talents and and what you like and enjoy,
Right.
and your expertise.
Right. And when it's 22 seats and you know what everyone's having, it's a completely different restaurant.
So I would have had to sit with people I didn't know,
Yep.
which scares some people. Think about, you're on a cruise ship. Come on, I mean,
Yeah.
or you're in Europe, because we all sit with people we don't know.
Once the guest would realize that everyone else at the table was in the same boat as them,
Yeah.
that they were all feeling the same or had never done it before, you realize that you all share a similar passion, and that is great food.
And the experience. This was an experience. This was something you couldn't get anywhere else. I love going into a restaurant. Barbie's on too. We would have had fun as table
Yep.
mates.
It's actually where I met Barbie.
Hi,
For
Barbie.
sure. Yeah.
Hi, Barbie.
And her husband too, celiac. And that's actually why I was talking about Kathleen, is that when you made your ticket, when you bought your ticket, you could say any food allergies that you had, dislikes that you had, whatnot. And we would create the entire menu for you specifically.
Wow.
So if you were gluten-free, we would make your meal gluten-free, but the guest sitting right next to you would have no idea that it was gluten-free.
Wow.
And
See,
then
that's
there
awesome.
wasn't that awkward exchange as you as the guest saying, oh, I can't eat this, or I
Right.
don't like that.
Right.
Because when you walked in the door, we had your name and knew what you were, and we would say, oh, good evening, Ted. Nice to see you, whatever. And then as soon as you sat down at the table, wherever you decided to sit, we'd be like, all right, that guy in the coral colored jacket is gluten-free.
Coral.
So then it would be just a seamless drop of your food right in front of you.
Well, and that's, I think, and so you also, when you walked in, because I didn't get to experience the table, and it's such a regret of mine because I really wanted to. But you would walk in and you would have, you'd start off with I heard champagne, but it could be
Champagne
anything,
and
right?
past hors d'oeuvres,
And past hors d'oeuvres. I mean, where
caviar,
else?
foie gras.
Oh my God.
Truffles.
See, why did I miss out on that? I don't know. Now I have regrets. All right, but that developed into... We're going to have Tyler do an entire presentation just for me about what it would be like to be at the table. See, Kathleen says it was perfect in every way. It sounds like it was, and everybody I talked to who went, they were amazed by it. But this morphed in. You opened something else after that.
Yeah, so our same guy, Bert, came to me and he was like, okay, so now that we've got that done, what's next?
We loved Bert.
Yeah, Bert's amazing. And so the space right next door to us was available, but it wasn't actually a space. It was a storage closet for the entire development. And the development was going up for sale. And so I had just recently gotten an email from the landlord saying that they wanted the thing estoppel to make, to show that there are all these tenants and what the lease of their tenant, or the lease is remaining. And I said, they must be selling. So I contact the landlord and I say, hey, if the space next door to me is rented, that's a better for you. So let's talk. And so Chuck Whittle from Unicorp was like, yeah, I'm totally down to talk about it. He's like, you realize that it's a storage closet? And I said, I know. And he's like, there's no door. And I said, I know.
I love it.
And that's actually how pharmacy came to be, was because we were in a space with no windows and no door.
But how did you come up with the concept? So he's talking about pharmacy, which is still there. It's out in Delagio, right?
Yep.
At Sand Lake, Dr. Phillips area. How did you come up with the concept of the green, was it green elevator button?
The elevator door, yeah.
Yeah, the elevator
Yeah.
door. How did you come up with that concept? Because speakeasies were coming in. We had Hanson's, which had launched here down on Orange Avenue.
Yep.
And so people were really kind of getting into that. It was kind of becoming a thing. How did you come up with the name? And how did you come up with the button? Because honestly, you used to have to, I've been there a bunch, and I still would have to go look. It's terrible. Because you don't, well, I won't tell you that you don't remember, but you really don't remember. So how did you come up with the name, and how did you come up with the concept for that space?
Well, the space really sort of dictated the concept. We knew that we wanted to do something cocktails, cocktail forward. In an order
Cocktail forward, that's my new hashtag.
And to get a liquor license in Orange County up until recently. Thank you, Maxine.
Maxine's on. She goes, I understand small spaces. Hey, Maxine.
Up until recently, you had to have a certain amount of square footage, over 3,200 square feet and 165 seats and all this other crazy. And so what I did was I combined two spaces together by putting in the secret door that separates the two, and then there's another door that separates the two kitchens, so it became one space. And then the elevator door was I had to put in another means of entrance and egress. And what's cool is that the two other doors that exist, although they're both not hidden but not obvious, are already the fire rated doors. So
I love it.
I could do anything I wanted. And so let's do an elevator door.
It's brilliant,
and it's
man.
in a hallway. So,
It's so, honest to God.
You know.
You really do have to look for it. You have to know where you're going. And thank God the people around you, the other restaurants or the other businesses,
Yeah.
you know, if you were like me and you had to go ask for the 900th time, where's that elevator
Oh
door
man, when
again?
we first opened, people would be like, "Where's pharmacy?" And they'd be like, "CVS is across the street, Walgreens is over there."
And how did you come up with the name pharmacy?
Well, that's interesting. A couple of ways. One was if we really wanted to be a speakeasy, we wanted to be hidden kind of thing. And so CVS, Walgreens, all those big pharmacies pay lots of money so that when you Google something, they're up top. So we would purposely get pushed down. Although now we're at the top, but we would get pushed down. So that was one way. But the real honest to God thing was during Prohibition, the only place to legally get alcohol was in a pharmacy. You had to have a prescription.
I did not know.
And so pharmacies then became sort of watering holes and whatnot. And a friend of mine gave me a actual, real, physical pharmacist prescription that had been written. And it was for his cousin or brother or something, totally illegal because the last names were exactly the same. So I guess he never redeemed it or whatnot, but that in the restaurant, and that sort of...
Yeah, but here is the great thing, because you also put a food element in there. Mm-hmm. Because speakeasies in general were known for their craft cocktails, right? So that's what you went for. You went for the kind of fun. It's a great little idea, but they take their cocktails very seriously. But then you also added an amazing food element to that.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because if you think of speakeasy, normally you just think booze, but pharmacy changed that. You guys changed that.
Yeah, we wanted to be a restaurant, and we wanted to continue to support our local farmers. You know, the table was only open Fridays and Saturday nights to the public, and then private events during the week. So when we did pharmacy, we wanted to put a restaurant in it so that we could continue to support all of our farmers and do amazing things, and have a menu.
I love it.
And
And the food is, well, it's amazing. I mean, the whole place is amazing. But you're not part of that anymore.
I am not. No, I stepped away about 3 years ago.
Brian, hi Brian. Hey Maxine. Hey Kimmy.
Hey Brian.
You stepped away.
Yeah.
And then, so now you've stepped away. What are you doing currently?
Well,
I should know this from the bio, but yeah, no.
So
Research, baby, research.
Even before pharmacy on the table and teaching, owned a consulting company and do a lot of hospitality, restaurant consulting. Do a lot of research and development, a lot of product development, lots of food manufacturing companies. Do a lot of that.
So
Country
what's happening?
clubs.
Tell me, hey Thomas, what's happening here in Orlando? Is there any kind of scoop you can give us? Any kind of
scoop,
or anything that's coming to Orlando that maybe we wouldn't expect, or a concept? I'm trying, guys. Trying to get it out of him.
He's trying. I'm bound by.
He's bound
by contracts, but yes, I will say it here on your show.
Right.
There is a thing that I am working on, a project that I'm working on here in downtown, and I promise you, it is how do you say? It is not like anything else that exists not only here in Orlando, but in pretty much most metropolitan cities.
Drinks and food? Just drinks? Just food?
Drinks and food
Nice.
and more.
Nice. Okay, so we got to look for that. That's awesome.
And
you must love
it's
it.
not far from here. You could walk.
Really? Are you sure? I can walk to Crest. That's
I
about
can't
as-
tell you that you can walk home, but
I can walk to Mathers. I'm pretty good there too.
you could walk from here.
All right, so so you're still involved in the community. You're still doing things. You're still doing restaurateur consulting, which I think would be a dream. But then again, I'm the taster and the drinker, not necessarily the business-minded person.
Well, we love people like you.
Ray says, announced here, petting zoo pub. We like Ray, and I don't even know Ray, but I'm going to really like Ray. All right, so obviously we're going to have to do part 2 because we've run over, like we talked about. Is there any parting words of wisdom? We'll share all of Tyler's contact information, how you reach him. I'm going to get some of the dirty when we're done here, and we're going to go have a real drink.
He's gonna try.
Ted can only make it to the Citrus Club bar. Thomas, that is sadly partially true, allegedly. Any parting words?
When I walked in this morning, the lovely ladies at the door were like, "He's sitting at his table."
That's true. I have a table. Look, you can't make that up. I'm a regular. It's like Cliff. I'm Cliff at Cheers. Any parting words of wisdom for them? Anything you want to share with them? We didn't get a chance to talk about hospitality, which I really wanted to.
I know we were going to talk about the.
I know, so we'll have to do another show. But because hospitality, and just really quick for the record, be kind to your servers, be kind to the staff at every establishment you go to.
Hospitable?
Be hospitable to the people. Be good to the other patrons. So that was a whole discussion we had prior to the show. But remember that. There are manners. We need to still have manners. And so make sure your staff are taken care of. Make sure your servers are taken care of. Don't ever take them for granted.
We're all the same.
All this.
We all have different jobs and lots in life, but
That is correct.
we are all the same.
And if you need to tip me, that's fine. I'm golden with it. Any parting words of wisdom for them, my friend?
Oh, love one of them. Definitely.
There you go. I love that. And thank you so much for being such a supporter of the show. Thank you for coming on. We're going to have to do part 2, because we have much more to talk about. And then when can we see the concept before I go out? Are we talking summer? Are we talking fall? Are you allowed to even say? I mean,
Well,
I have to have you come back on the show to announce.
When we were building pharmacy, everybody would ask me, like, when are you going to open? And I would always be like, je february. Because unfortunately you can't.
Can't talk about it.
Well, no, not that you can't talk about it. You can't pinpoint a date until you.
Well, yeah, you're also dealing with code enforcement and construction.
Code.
I get it.
Yes, the people down in code enforcement and permitting and inspection.
Yeah,
so.
they got to make sure it's right.
Absolutely. I mean, they've got an important job to do and make sure that it's safe for everybody.
Agreed.
But having said that and having done this, once or twice, I would shoot to say that we are going to try to do December.
Nice. Okay, so there we go.
You heard that? I said December.
So he's going to speak it, so it's going to come into fruition. That's what it
Exactly.
is. We're going to speak it. All right, you're a joy, my friend. Thank you. Thanks for all the support of the show. I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
You're awesome. You guys are awesome. Thanks for all the interaction. We'll both comment on all the stuff that you said because we missed a whole bunch. Thanks for all the love. And we will see you tomorrow. I have 2 shows tomorrow. Thomas Redmond's on, and Boris is on with Dr. Carmen McGinnis, and we'll post that tomorrow morning. Don't miss out. You're a joy, my friend. Bye, Ray. You're awesome. Love you guys.